couple people have asked me how I did the limb risers on my Nissan Armada. Only thing I really bought was the turnbuckles and the things to make cable ends, like the loop ends. And I had some scrap metal laying around that was just perfectly angled. I did a little modification where I bent it over, and that's really it. I had the cable, I had everything. The only thing I bought was the turnbuckles. They're small turnbuckles, and they were like $2 a piece. It literally cost me probably like $5, but I had most of it. So I mean, you would probably have to definitely have to buy the cable ends. Hold on. You'd have to buy the cable ends, the turnbuckles, some good quality, thick, not too thick, L brackets that you can modify, bend a little bit, but it can't be too thick. It has to fit between the fender and the hood. That's how I did mine. But I'll show you what I did. All right, the black metal here, this L, I had already. I kind of, if you can see how I bent it, it was more straight up. I bent it towards the fender as much as I possibly can. So when I shut the hood, it just fits right in there. I try to get metal that matches the thickness of between the fender and the hood, but not too thick, kind of like just in the middle. This is the turnbuckle here that I bought. I think it was like maybe like $2 or a little bit more than that. And I bought their aluminum ends where you have to like put the wires in there, make a loop, crush them in there. I just flattened them down with a hammer, just smashed them down. But then the wire I already had, so the wire goes up. So you kind of just, or is it? Oops, sorry. Just touches my hood when I close it. There is little rub marks on it. But this truck has rust and scratches all over it. It's not really perfect, but it goes up into these. I had scrap pieces from when I made the roof rack out of the angles. No, not angles. The unistrut that I got. I had scrap pieces left over from cutting it off because it actually came out. There's actually about another foot. It would hang out way too close to the window. And I wanted it just at the window line. So I put those up. I didn't have these on here at the time, and I went off into the woods, and a tree branch, I don't know if you can see it or not, hit this heavy duty like pool liner kind of material. I don't know what it's not a pool liner, but it's really heavy duty. It smacked the corner of this, this is where my rooftop tent is. It took a little bit out of it, but I mean, I hit it, to be honest with you, I hit it pretty good. I didn't realize the branch was that high. So, and I was like, oh man, I gotta do something to protect this corner right here. So I put, if you can see, these brackets here are magnet. They magnet to the metal, so you can line up everything. And the bolt here, the big fender washers into the things that clip inside. Hold on. They clip inside to the unit strut. There's like little edges in here that clips onto it. Do the same thing for this side. Luckily, the posts were just high enough, so if a branch comes, it'll ride along this and just push it right up over the top of the rooftop tent. I'm mostly just trying to protect the rooftop tent. I did the same thing for the other side too, the same style. And pretty much just ride across this and just right over top of it. I've tested it out. It actually works really good. Works excellent, just right over top of it. But that's really it. When you're trying to do it yourself, you're gonna have to figure out a way to mount them up there. I'm lucky. I mean, if you can't put a post up like that high. You could just mount it just to this rack, but this is gonna go right to this corner. I want it up above everything, just right over top of it. So you could mount it from there and come down. I tried it, I didn't like it, so I readjusted it. So, but your main concern is the thickness of this metal right here. Don't go to the store and buy that cheap L brackets in the package. That metal was way too thin. I tried it at first and it completely snapped off. I tried doing a T bracket on here and over the thing when I first tried it, like I said before, and it was a complete nightmare. It just snapped off completely. I almost took out my windshield because it was just really thin, too thin of metal. You know, live and learn. So I found this thicker metal that I had, and I just used the stock fender bolt, made sure my fender stayed still aligned, and then just use that to tighten it up, and it's solid. It don't move. It's on there. Same thing for this side too. This one I messed up on the cable. I made the cable just a tad bit too long. It wasn't tight enough, and I didn't want to cut all this off and everything. It's already pre-made, so I just made a loop and tightened it. It's just perfect. That was my fault. That's the turnbuckles. You could adjust these, you know, tighten and loosen them. I made the thing way too long. But side note, these are my lights that hook onto the hood with these. You can see them underneath there. Right here. But they clip on there with like Allen key things. Great little mounts, but they do get a little rusty over time, but it is what it is. But they work great. But that's how I did the rim risers for this truck. This is a Nissan Armada 06 Nissan Armada. The mods that I have done to it is I completely removed the mud flap things. That's where all your rust and everything collects, because obviously you can see I haven't cleaned it out, but there is absolutely dirt and everything packed in here. So I completely removed them, and I'll show you where the where it's common for these trucks to start rotting out. So you see on the other side where this has like a piece of metal going across here, and it collects everything and just sits there and rots it out. Well, this one is completely rotted out and gone. I've treated it and everything, so I've removed those off of there, and there's on this side too. I just remove them because the mud flaps they stick over a little too far and they catch everything and it builds up in there, and the moisture just eats through everything and just kills it. So when you first get these trucks, anything with mud, honestly any car with mud flaps or the rubber trim around the wheel wells, all that stuff, just remove it as quick as you possibly can, because that just collects everything. And when they're driving in the rain, kind of washes your tire wells out. Not really, but kind of. And anything that collects anything just sits there. It's just gonna sit there. And any dirt that's in there that's dry, and then the rain comes, and you're just adding more to it. So I just remove everything, so everything just gets washed out. But that's really it. It's been on here since I put it on here. I'm not taking it off. It's staying up there. It's way too heavy to be taking off and on. But everything's still solid. I use all the stock. No, I upgraded the bolts for the rack and everything. But that's really it. That's how I did them. Real easy. Works great. Well, that's how I did the limb risers for the Nissan Armada. Just real easy to do. The key, I would say, is finding the L brackets that fit between your fenders and your hood. That's the key right there. And thick enough to where you can bend it, and it's not gonna, like, you know, that thin metal that you buy at the store. It didn't work. It was junk. I kind of had a feeling of it, but I said, yeah, let me just try it. You never know, you know. But it didn't work. So this works out. When I do get a front bumper on it, that's gonna have like the brush guard bars on and everything, then I will replace the cables, and make it a little bit longer so it goes out to the front bumper, because technically that's where you want it. The front bumper will catch everything first and then kick it up over top. But that's it. Have a good one. Thanks for checking out our videos and everything. If you can, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. And if you can give it a like, that'd be great. Share it if you can, and have a good one.